Welcome in. It's another edition of Where the 99 Lead. I'm Andrew Joyce, and Where the 99 Lead. We talk about the historic 99 steps that lead to the University of Pikeville campus, also lead from campus back into the community and our region, and of course into the world. Special guest today, a longtime member of the University of Pikeville, then Pikeville College family, and that's Peggy Davis, founder of the University of Pikeville School of Dance and ballet instructor still today. Peggy Davis, welcome in.
Thank you very much for having me on.
I would imagine there aren't many people on campus that have been around as long as Peggy Davis has.
I think that's probably right. I came back here in 1977, right after the 77 flood.
Wow. And you chose to.
I chose to.
A lot of folks were leaving town after the 77 flood.
I left after the 57 flood. Came back after the 77
and a return
flood.
visit.
Yeah.
Peggy Davis, founder of the University of Pikeville School of Dance. Let's talk about your background for someone that's tuned in and they have no idea who Peggy Davis is. Let's take us back to, if you can go to 57 if you want, how about we go to 77 or so?
Well, I was going to say I was born up in the head of Flutie Holler on the right fork of Brushy Creek.
That's a great place to start.
Yeah. I started doing ballet in Pikeville, actually. A woman named June Kahn came up from Ashland and started classes here when I was a kid.
Wow.
And then in 1957, my mother and I got in our DeSoto and went to Arizona. And I stayed in Arizona until 1977.
Came back and arrived on the then Pikeville College campus.
Right.
And it will never be the same.
Probably not.
Talk about your time, because you were a part of the faculty at the then Pikeville College. Talk about your time on the faculty outside the dance program.
I taught sociology first, and then I taught anthropology, which was really my field. Anthropology is my field. I was an archaeologist out in Arizona for a long time, digging up Indian ruins and things like that, you know.
And then the dance program comes along. There was no dance program before Peggy Davis.
Right.
Talk about its founding.
Well, as soon as I came back here, people realized that I had been a dancer, and I had continued dancing in Arizona. When I was in Arizona, I was a founding member of a ballet company.
Yes.
And so they knew that, or some people knew it, and the word got around, and they kept saying, let's have some dance classes. And I said, okay, I'd love to do that. So we just started having dance classes in 1978.
1978, and going strong today.
Going strong today.
The community education dance program is under the direction of Conda Little and yourself. Talk about Conda's role with the dance program.
Conda is wonderful. We could not do it without her. She is a business instructor at the junior college, and she does all our business work. She takes care of the enrollment and the figures and the money and everything. So she's indispensable. Plus, she also does a lot of the backstage stuff.
Sure.
Plus, she also teaches ballet and and tap and jazz and all the other fields too.
And a former student. Conda Little, a longtime member of the, not just the faculty of the dance program, but also a student. Any idea how many students have come through the program?
I have no idea at all. We
That would be a
probably
great
field
project.
a couple of hundred every semester.
Sure.
Yeah.
It would be great. It would be a great
Wouldn't it
number.
be interesting to know how many after all these years.
A lot of lives have been changed and touched. Today we're going to talk about the dance program with the founder of the University of Pikeville Dance Program, Peggy Davis, our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. And before we went on air, you were talking about what a busy semester it is.
Oh my goodness, we have so many things coming up. It's unbelievable. We're on Tuesday, October the 23rd. We're going to be participating in the Nightmare on Main at the Expo Center.
Yes.
So we'll be doing some ghoulish dance, I'm sure, you know. Then on October the 26th, which is a Friday, we will have a master class for all ages from 3 through adults. These master classes are going to be taught by a couple who run a ballet company in Lexington, Norbe Risco and Rafaela Risco.
Wow.
They're from Cuba.
Wow.
And so they're Russian trained, you know, and they're wonderful ballet dancers themselves. And they're going to come up and teach classes for all our students. And anyone in the community who wants to participate can register just by calling the university, the dance program, and register. So anybody's welcome to participate in the classes.
You mentioned the Russian ballet. Why is the Russian ballet so different than other
It's
ballet
just so
dances?
intensive. The training is so intensive. They start very young and they devote their entire lives to it. It's not like our program. I mean, we do mostly recreational ballet and tap and jazz. But they start very young, like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years old, and they'll take 6 classes a day. You know, they'll do ballet every single day for several classes. And that's why they turn out such wonderful dancers.
Tremendous, and of course, well respected. So, Nightmare on Main, then October 26th, the master's class is being taught. What ages again?
3 through adult. We have
3
different, age groups.
So there are 3-year-olds as part of the dance program.
There are lots of 3-year-olds, in fact.
That's incredible.
And they're pretty cute, too.
Let's talk about the rest of the schedule.
All right. The next thing is Sunday, October the 28th, for Breast Cancer Awareness Week. We're going to be dancing for a cure.
Yes.
So we have a show Sunday, October the 28th at 2 p.m. in Booth Auditorium. And all the proceeds will go to Saving Grace Blessed Beyond Measure, which I understand is a local organization that helps cancer patients.
Right.
Yeah.
October 28th, Booth Auditorium. What time does that get started?
2 o'clock. 2 in the afternoon,
All
yes.
right.
Then, in November, we're doing our big ballet. We're doing Alice in Wonderland and Alice in the Looking Glass World.
Yes.
We're using both of those.
Yes.
And we're taking it from the old books, not from the movies or anything like that. So it will not look like the movies, I'm sure.
Right.
We're telling the stories exactly as they appear in the original books, and we're trying to dress people as closely as we can to the illustrations in the original book.
Very good.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. The school shows, there will be two school shows. Wednesday, November the 14th, at 9 o'clock in the morning and at 12 noon. We will do 2 shows in one day for the schools. So any schools who are interested in coming, call the dance studio and reserve your time.
Sure.
Then the public shows will be Friday, November the 16th at 7:30 and Sunday, November the 18th at 2:30.
All right.
So public shows.
And public shows for Alice in Wonderland, what's the cost of admission? And these take place at Booth Auditorium.
All in Booth Auditorium, yes. $5 for the public shows. We're very inexpensive.
Right.
Yeah, we do that on purpose so that the community can participate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we want.
What a great bargain.
Yeah, it is. Then in December, we have one more show coming up. Our 3 through 6-year-olds are going to have their very own Christmas show.
Wow.
Just by themselves.
And that takes place when?
We don't have the date set exactly yet. It'll be in December.
So the
In Booth
3-year-olds through 6-year-olds.
3 through 6-year-olds. They're wonderful. They're going to be Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and, all those children's songs.
That's a special time. Learning the fundamentals of dance and
Yes.
what an important piece of groundwork for their dancing
It's
careers.
wonderful. They are so cute. The 3 through 6-year-olds are just wonderful.
Dance is a lifetime skill.
Absolutely. And it takes a lifetime to really learn it.
Sure.
It absolutely does. This is what people don't understand. They think, oh, I'll come in next semester and I'll be in the spring recital, But if you are not there now learning the steps that you're going to use in the spring recital, you're going to have difficulty, catching up.
Alice in Wonderland, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's back up and talk about that. Why patterned after the book and not the movies?
Because that's the authentic book, I think. I think it's more authentic that way. I don't like the way the movies do it, especially that last one,
Sure.
It was so ghoulish, kind of. But we're just telling each story as it comes along. We're going right through, like down the rabbit hole and the pool of tears and the garden of live flowers, all those stories. Advice from a caterpillar. Pig and Pepper, where the Duchess has a baby that turns into a pig. Wait till you see how this baby turns into a pig right on stage.
Wow. Wow. If someone hasn't read the book and they're going to be a part of Alice in Wonderland, would it be a good idea for them to read the book?
Definitely. We've been asking the schools, if you're coming to Alice in Wonderland, make sure that you read the stories to the children or have the children read the stories so that they'll understand what's going on.
No cliff notes to this one.
No, except the programs, of course, for the public shows. We'll have programs printed for the public shows. Yeah.
Who makes up the cast and crew of Alice in Wonderland?
Many of our dancers. We probably have Over 50 kids in this show.
Really?
Yeah. The youngest one is, I think, 6. Most of them are 7 through adults. There are several adults in it as well. But there are over 50 students.
Wow, that's incredible. Peggy Davis, founder of the University of Pikeville Dance Program, our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. We talk about the dance program. Yes, its origins back in 1978, hundreds, thousands of students that have come through the program. But we talk about the schedule for this semester, this fall, and of course we'll run down those dates again on this show. If you didn't have a pencil handy, you'll want to. Performances in October, performances in November, and the youngsters in December. So make sure you grab a pencil, have those handy. We'll have those dates for you again before we wrap this up. But let's talk about Alice in Wonderland. Huge production.
Very big production.
50 students involved. How many does it take in a crew to put on a production like this?
That's going to be a big problem, is the backstage crew, because
Sure.
we have to move the scenery and on and off stage, behind the curtain, that sort of stuff. And we have to have a crew who will provide lunch, because the students will be there all day.
Right.
And we bring in lunch for them. So it takes a lot of people to put this production on.
How much time?
We started on this in August.
And it takes place when?
November.
Will you be
before
ready?
Thanksgiving. We hope we'll be ready. We started on it in August. It's a long, hard process.
The show must go on.
We have 12 scenes that we're dancing, 12 stories. And what we've been doing is we've been rehearsing them on the weekends.
Yes.
So I'm driving in from Brushy Creek 7 days a week to Pikeville, because I have classes all week, and then we have rehearsals Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon.
And how long have these weekend practices been taking place?
Since September.
Wow. It's a lot of preparation for this show, but I think it's very telling of the kind of production that we'll see when it hits the stage. And I know it's been a passion for you,
Yeah.
not just this semester, but going all the way back to '78.
Yes. I love ballet. It's been my favorite thing my entire life. And since I've been back here, I've put on a number of ballet productions. We put on a Nutcracker just about every other year.
Right.
Yeah. But I've also put on The Tales of Beatrix Potter a couple of years ago.
Yes.
You know Beatrix Potter, the stories,
Sure.
Peter Rabbit and Jemima Puddle Duck and all those folks, right? A few years ago I did Peter and the Wolf. A bunch of years ago I did La Fille Mal Gardée, which means the badly guarded daughter. It's a comedy ballet, and it's absolutely wonderful. We also put on Graduation Ball a bunch of years ago, which is a real cute traditional ballet, and we did it Pikeville College style.
Right.
And then I also did a bunch of years ago also a liturgical ballet, an original liturgical ballet that I created called David Danced Before the Lord with All His Might.
Wow.
Which is a quote from the Old Testament.
Sure.
Yeah. So we've done a lot of different productions over the years, and not just ballets, of course. We do things for the community, like these cancer awareness and the Madness on Main.
Sure. Last time you were on the show, you had a connection with someone who made the original Christmas tree for the Nutcracker Ballet.
Yeah.
This time around, you're looking for someone to help build a teapot, I understand.
Yes, I need a giant teapot, because for the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, you know, the Mad Hatter and the March Hare put the Dormouse upside down into the teapot.
Yes.
So I would really love someone who would make me a big papier-mâché teapot. What I'm suggesting somebody do is they take a big beach ball and papier-mâché the outside of this beach ball and then cut it out at the top, and then deflate the beach ball and take it out, and you've got a big teapot. You put a spout on it, and, you know.
How important are volunteers to the program?
Extremely important. Without the volunteers, we couldn't do this, because right now there are mamas who are making flower headdresses for the Garden of Live Flowers. I don't even know how many are in that. I can't remember, but there are lots of flowers. And what they're doing is they're taking wire and making a frame, and then they're making flowers so that the flowers will be around the face of the dancer.
Yes.
They're going to be really cute.
Hundreds, thousands of hours of preparation for Alice in Wonderland.
I think so. I really do. It's being a big job. Really is a big job.
We want to get those dates again. Let's talk about the University of Pikeville School of Dance in general, the founding, 1978. Talk about the history of the program, what it took for you to get the program started.
Well, it just took the administration being willing to let me do it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
What was that first conversation like?
I don't really remember, to tell you the truth. I think it just was the community would like a ballet class. May I have a room to do ballet in?
Yes.
And you know, one of the first places that we worked was upstairs over the president's office, a classroom. They let us use a classroom on top of the president's office. And he got tired of that really fast because of all the noise on his head, you know, in his office.
I was going to say tap classes probably got that moved.
Yeah. And so we got down at the foot of the 99 in that building.
Yes.
There was at that time, it was a coal storage facility for the steam heat that apparently used to be there.
Right.
And they were no longer using it, so there was this great big vacant space, and they said, let's turn that into ballet studios. And so, believe it or not, the administration at the time did, and they put in bouncy floors because, see, you have to have special floors for dance because you don't want just a piece of wood laid down over cement because that injures knees and feet and all this sort of stuff. You don't want to do that at all. So we have a bouncy floor, a sprung floor, and mirrors and bars and all these things in that space. And I'm looking now, I'm hoping to get more space because we have grown so much that this space is no longer adequate for us, really.
How many classes take place now?
Geez. Probably about 9 a day.
9 a day. How many days per week?
At least 4 days a week.
Wow, 36 classes a week.
At least.
Covering ages 3
through
and
adults.
beyond.
Yeah.
Wow. How many adults do you have in the program?
I'm not really sure. I have I have 3, I guess, in ballet adults. And I don't know how many there are in jazz and tap, but there are several. In jazz and tap, yeah.
And a lot of those adults are students who came to dance classes when they were 3, 4 years old?
Some, but most of them are adults who just came as adults.
And decided, I want to learn how to do this.
There's one woman who is in her 30s, who came in her early 30s a few years ago, and she's now dancing on her pointe shoes.
Wow.
You know, up on the tip end of her toes,
Sure.
on pointe shoes, yeah. So it can be done.
It's incredible. But students like Conda Little, who began as a
small child,
child, and now part of the faculty, the administration of the program. Those are the types of students that keep it going.
And others of our students are now teaching as well. There's Chelsea Taylor and Sandy Dotson, who are also teachers with the program.
Right. I was going to say, if you have 9 classes a day, how many do you have teaching on a daily basis?
At least 4 of us are teaching.
And those classes are held when?
We start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon usually, and until about 8 o'clock at night usually. It's about the limit.
Those classes run this semester. If someone wanted to, they've decided they want to take a dance class, and they've decided it's October. When is the next opportunity for them?
January.
Okay.
We'll start over again in January, and we welcome all comers, whether you know any ballet or any jazz or any tap. We also teach hip hop and that kind of stuff as well. You know, not just ballet. We teach jazz and tap, hip hop and lyrical.
Very good. Little something for everyone.
Little something for everyone, and we welcome everyone in the community. I even sometimes have a class that you have to be over 30 years old to be in. Yeah, come to ballet.
I've got to sign up. How many men do you have involved in the program?
Right now,
or should I say males, younger
well, right
boys?
now there's one adult male, and we had several, and then one of them moved to Lexington, and the other one got involved in Jenny Wiley Theater and doesn't have time, and you know, that sort of stuff. I have several little boys. I have some 3-year-old boys, and I have one 10-year-old who's been with us for several years and who's doing quite well. And I have several others. Whenever we have Nutcracker, I always go over to the school and recruit boys, and I get 10 or 12 boys to come and be in Nutcracker. And then some of them continue dancing.
Yes. Talking with Peggy Davis, founder of the University of Pikeville Dance Program, on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. And of course, over the history of the then Pikeville College, now University of Pikeville dance program, Peggy Davis, you have put together, I don't know, dozens, if not hundreds of performances. What have been some of your favorites?
I really think that La Fille Magarde was probably the highlight because it's such a comedy. And in those days, we had a dance minor at the college.
Yes.
We actually had a dance minor. And I had all the basketball and baseball teams, the boys, in ballet.
Yes.
And so I had like 18 guys who danced. I mean, I took a ballet class in the fall, and they took a ballet class in the spring, and we did the show in the spring, and they were wonderful. I mean, they could actually dance by the time. You know, that's the fun thing about being a teenager or a young adult. When you first start ballet, you learn really fast. You may not be as flexible as
Right.
if you had started at 7, you know, but you can pick up the steps and the moves, and you can dance really fast.
There you
I
go.
like it.
And if someone has never danced before,
Oh, yes. We have classes for beginners of all ages. We have beginning adult classes. We have beginning teen classes. We have beginning 10-year-old classes, beginning 7-year-old classes, beginning 3- and 4-year-old classes. We have beginning classes at all levels, and we welcome everyone to come.
what does it mean to Peggy Davis when you see a student walk in the studio for the first time and to see that student on stage for the first time?
Oh, it is so wonderful, because what really happens to children, especially to children, is that it just increases their self-concept amazingly. They become so self-confident. They'll come in kind of scared, like, I don't know if I can do this or not.
Yes.
And then by the time the recital is over, they know they can do it.
Right.
And they will be able to tackle anything. It is so good for a child's self-esteem
Absolutely.
to be in dance.
Peggy Davis, are you still dancing?
You bet.
Dance till the grave.
I expect to fall dead on the dance floor.
And you're still part of the active faculty as well.
Just in the dance program. No,
Right.
I quit my day job. I retired
Sure.
a few years ago.
Well, you deserve that, but you're
Yeah.
still part of the teaching faculty of the dance program.
Oh, yes.
How long do you plan to do that?
As long as I have to, as long as I can.
And got a feeling that may be a long time.
I think so. I expect to be around a while, because I keep seeing these 3-, and 4-, and 5-year-olds that I want to teach when they're teenagers, because they're so beautiful.
See them come in scared and see them blossom into incredible dancers.
That's what I love to see. I just love to see that.
We talked about several performances earlier. We've allowed folks to grab a pencil. Let's talk about those performance dates and times again.
Okay, I'll go down my cheat sheet list here. Nightmare on Main, Tuesday, October the 23rd, and we'll be dancing between 6 and 8 p.m., I'm told.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, performance, the Breast Cancer Awareness Week, Dancing for a Cure, Sunday, October the 28th at 2 p.m. in Booth Auditorium. Number 3, performance, is Alice in Wonderland. Public shows Friday, November the 16th at 7:30 and Sunday, November the 18th at 2:30. And then in December, we will have the Christmas show for the 3- through 6-year-olds. The date has not yet been set for that one.
There you go. Peggy Davis, founder of the University of Pikeville Dance Program, our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. And Peggy Davis, one of those faces that you expect to see on campus. We're glad that we still see that face, and you keep dancing.
Thank you very much. I absolutely love ballet. It is just the best thing in the world.
One of the great faces of the University of Pikeville, our guest
Thank
on
you.
this edition of Where the 99 Lead. Peggy Davis, longtime member of the faculty at the University of Pikeville and the founder of the University of Pikeville Dance Program, our guest. On behalf of the University of Pikeville and Peggy Davis, I'm Andrew Joyce. Thanks for tuning in.